Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I am still in this side of Busia. This is Ebokai. So as I earlier told you that I was here to oversee the establishment of that posho mill. And in my previous interview, I just interviewed Austin so that he actually gave us an account of what happened and how the whole story about the stroke. And I think sometimes it's only good to come to the ground so that you know the scope, you know the extent of the problem. Sometimes when we're in Nairobi and you receive this calls, you have all those doubts, but you know when you come and just yourself you find out, you know what exactly you're dealing with. So I'm here, I'm just waiting for the fundi. Just arrived some few minutes ago. I'm just waiting for the fundi so that we can start working on it and we know. Welcome to the bold analysis, guys. I'm this other side of Busia, Ebokai, as I had mentioned to you, and I'm here with Austin. So, Austin, you feel aje?
Na feel vizuri.
You feel vizuri?
Yes.
Yes. Maze, how is it? How has it been? Stroke ilikuwa mwaka gani?
Stroke ilinianza 2017. Wakati nilikuwa Nairobi. Hali ya kutafuta. Na nikamaliza almost only 8 months na stroke ikakuja. Ikaniweka chini.
Ikakuweka chini.
Yeah.
In the bed for 3 years.
In the bed nimemaliza 8 months.
Nimemaliza 8 months. What? Now, sasa unaona mkitembea ni unaweza do nini? Because you are telling me about the posho mill. Unaweza vuta ifanye?
Hiyo posho mill kusiaga naweza siaga ama naweza mmoja mkono yangu wa kushoto.
Kushoto ni gani?
Hiyo. Ndio inafanya kazi juu.
Hii haifanyi kabisa?
Hii haifanyi.
Hata ukileta haiwezi
simama, haiwezi fanya kitu yote.
Oh, so inabaki venye iko sasa hivi.
Iko tu hivyo. So kitu nafanyanga tu moja na mkono ya kushoto ni kuoga na yani vitu ndogo.
So kazi za nyumbani unafanya kama nini sasa?
Kazi za nyumbani najaribu na kulima na mkono mmoja, hii ya kushoto.
Ya kushoto.
Pale padogo pa kupata tu chakula peke yake.
Uko na familia, watoto wangapi na?
Niko na watoto wawili na baby mmoja.
So you married after stroke kama?
I was married after stroke.
After stroke.
Yani nilioa kama nishapigwa na stroke.
Stroke was 2017.
Yes. Nikaoa 2018 mwezi wa 8. Na stroke nilipiga mwezi wa pili. Tarehe 10 na tarehe 8 on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
2017.
Hey, you really have the memory of what really happened.
Yes,
Austin, this thing changed everything. Hii stroke ilibadilisha kila kitu.
Ilibadilisha, ikaniweka chini, so nothing I can do now. Hakuna kitu naweza fanya. Hata watoto wako tu hapa sana, shida nitafanya nini? Mungu acha nipate watoto. Juu hata Mungu anasema fanya yoyote lakini yende atamaliza. Sasa mimi sijui nianzie wapi na Mungu animalizie.
Wow. Austin, you know, there is one thing that I know when I was heard of your story, it really touched me kwamba there were family need and you just needed to have something. Sasa mama atakuwa anafanya, now if you will work kwa posho mill, mama atakuwa anafanya kwa?
Sasa nikifanya kwa posho mill, umejua hata mama alisema sasa kitu anaweza fanya, yeye anaweza enda kwa shamba kulima.
You can't run some small shop or something?
Anaweza
mbele ya hiyo shop because tumeona hapo mbele kuna space.
Hiyo ndio aliniambia anataka tafute pesa tupate pale pa kuweka duka, anaweza pata kitu chochote ya
na si tunaweza weka mbele hiyo?
Yes, tunaweza weka hapo mbele. Hata sasa hivi mimi naomba tu Mungu useme tu naweka shop hapa, anaweza furahi kwa roho yangu yote.
And we must do that. I think that is what is remaining. And tunashukuru Mungu. We are going to put it. Si hiyo space ya mbele ni kuongeza mabati, inakuwa na shade. Alafu unaweza weka something hapo so that wewe ukifanya ndani yeye afanye nje kwa shop. Auze hapo mbele. Wow.
Yes.
Austin, on behalf of this bold network, I want to say pole, and I know saizi usha heal, usha kwa strong, and this is something now that ni kama ushazoea ama
Ni mazoea, but hata saa zingine pesa ya kutumia kununua dawa inakuwa shida. Saa zingine
bado unatumia madawa?
Waliniambia lazima nitumie madawa.
Sasa za kama za
si za kureduce ya pressure.
Ya reduce blood. Kitu ileta stroke ni pressure.
Unajua kitu ileta stroke, mimi sikuwa najua anything juu wakati huo sikuwa na pressure. Nilifanya kama nimetoka.
Ulitoka wapi?
Nilikuwa nafanya tizi, mimi nilikuwa mtu wa kupiga mpira. Kuna cheza. After kucheza nikaenda kwa nyumba, nikirudi. After hiyo nikatoka nikaenda niko nafanya gym.
So ulipata kutoka kwa gym?
Sasa wakati nilikuwa kwa gym nikafeel kama mkono yangu wa kulia haina nguvu. Nikaanza kusikia kama kichwa imeanza kuniuma. After hiyo nikarudi kwa nyumba, nikawaambia watoto wetu. Tuko na watoto 3 niko naishi nao. Nikawaambia ati
ulikuwa unaishi wapi?
Nilikuwa naishi Gomongo. Nairobi huko Gomongo. After hiyo nikafeel kama kichwa inazidi kuniuma, nikawaambia wanimwagie maji kwa kichwa. Wakanimwagia, lakini haikuwezekana. Mimi nilikuwa chukua simple ni kichwa tu inaniuma. Lakini nilikuwa imenzidi. After hiyo kinapiga chini, memory ikapotea.
The next thing you realize ulikuwa hospitali
nikamaliza almost 4 months ndio memory karudi, nikajiuliza niko wapi.
Memory rudi after 4 months?
4 months, yeah.
Wow. Something that is lifting in this story is that you still here, you still have a family, naona hata kama una limp but you're walking. Inamaanisha literally hiyo side yote kutoka mguu na mkono, literally nothing is working.
No, I think it's not working. Yani everything disappear. But
huku naye ili survive. And the doctor alisema nini ilileta stroke?
Kitu ilileta stroke walisema huyu jamaa alikuwa anafanya chizi mingi. Walifanya mingi. Na wakati huo walisema, mjua watu wengi usema ikupigwa stroke ikikuja kwako ingie ndani ya mwili wako ni pressure.
Before that, I wanted to do, and because I'm at home, you may hear kids crying and playing, and you know those are natural voices. Those ones you can't decline. You can't really ignore. Those are the natural ambience. Now, I want us to shortly look at something that has really caught my attention. Yesterday, before I left Nairobi, I did the last video, and that video I said about the amendments that has been proposed in the National Assembly, and those amendments have been proposed by Kimani Ichung'wah, and one of them, and that is what I put in that title, was that Head of Public Service Felix Kosgei to be proposed as the administrative of executive office of the president, and by virtue of holding that office, he will actually be the custodian of the public seal, which is a document that sits with the Attorney General and other instruments of other state instruments that are not within the State House. So today I have seen this story developing, and that's why I'm still with it, because I realize quite a number of people had much interest on it. So today the nation is carrying the same story. It's developing this way, that apparently that amendment that was tabled in Parliament by Kimani Ichung'wah did not have the blessings or did not have the okay from the Attorney General. And that is not even the first one. They are also saying that there are quite a number of bills, even the housing levy, that have been coming from the executive and going directly to the legislative wing without the input of the Attorney General. Remember, Attorney General is the state legal advisor of the president, and anything coming from any legislative, any bill that is coming from the executive must pass through the Attorney General for his input before it gets to the National Assembly. And this is one thing that is coming out. And so he's normally not been maybe being asked. His input has not been considered, or rather his counsel has not been considered in the last few months. And that development, or rather that move even to take the public seal, I showed you what the public seal is, those who watched that video. That move to take the public seal is to ensure that that role is going to be taken from him to the head of public service. So, apparently, I'm looking at it this way. The Constitution had AG, which is a constitutional office, although not independent, but within the executive arm of the president. AG is an ex-officio member, but is within the executive arm of the president. So AG sits, of course, in cabinet and is a key decision maker. And by the way, you will realize that lately, the Attorney General has been missing in cabinet meetings. I will challenge you to just Google and just Google latest cabinet meetings. He used to attend some time back, but nowadays he's not been there. So Muturi has been locked out, and that amendment is also scrapping off that responsibility of Attorney General to okay. And one thing should worry William Ruto is this. I don't know whether it's something that is going on and something should worry William Ruto, because quite a number of laws that have been passed by Kenya Kwanza have been going to the courts, have been challenged in courts, and they've been losing. So, and we've been asking, who is advising the president? Because they recently lost the housing levy case, and they were told it's unconstitutional because it's discriminatory. You cannot take money from the formal sector, just from the employed formal sector, to service a national agenda without putting the informal sector. And that is why it has been taken back for an amendment. So, that's one development in it. Then the second bit here is that there is a tussle between the Office of the Attorney General and the Public Service Commission. Why? Attorney General, number one, is supposed to be, there is a push and pull. And I think I want us to get it very factual. The precedence here is, there is the post of Solicitor General that is now held by Kisige, I think, Tono Geto. So Solicitor General, Deputy Solicitor General, Attorney General is asking that office should be, his office should be the one to appoint the Deputy Solicitor General. That's number one. Number two, there is also promotion of state council. So who is having the responsibility of promoting state council? The promoting people to state council, Attorney General is also demanding that office, or rather that responsibility, should rest with the AG. And I want to support him in that by saying, and I think he has proposed an amendment on that. I want to support him by saying, I don't think in the Public Service Commission they have the competence. They have the law competence even to determine who should be given or who is not. The Public Service Commission should be on the competence of state officers, those who are being employed. But in terms of promotion, just the same way, promotion of teachers is under Teacher Service Commission, and promotion of doctors is under Kenya KMPDU. I think promotion of lawyers to state council should be left to the Attorney General, because they are the fellows that understand that industry, they have the expertise, and they're getting it right. So this is something that I got, and I'm like, I don't know why there is even an argument about it, because for me it should be very okay as 1, 2, 3. But this argument is coming that Attorney General should not. And the other development that according to Nation here is that Solicitor General is talking to William Ruto directly, to the President directly, and seems to have kicked out Attorney General Muturi. So Muturi is now facing the wrath, and I've picked it because I developed it from the other story that I did earlier. That is now being faced out and is taking the center stage to ensure, the government is taking the center stage to ensure that office is faced out. If it's not going to be consulted on the legal matters, on the bills going to the National Assembly, and they are also demanding that head of public service be full in charge. And I'm wondering, why are we clogging everything in one office? Why is it that we are not making it easy, or rather we are not opening up that space for the others actually to thrive? And I want to look at that deeply, because that is what is going on. He's not going to give his input. And remember, Before I interpret this, there is something there is an observation I've been making. There have been talks in the corridors that even there are some cases that have been taken to court, challenged in court by civil society organizations and private citizens, and those litigations are sponsored by people within the state so that they can scoop legal fees money. You know, when someone sues government, then who is supposed to defend government? The Attorney General. And if the Attorney General is the person defending government, then what does it mean? It only means that there is some legal fees that some lawyers are going to get. And in a bid to acquire legal fees, where, you know, whether government loses or wins, the lawyers that have been picked to represent government are going to have a big scoop. They're going to have a good day. So there have been talks in the corridors that some cases have been taken to court and they've been sponsored by even some fellows within the state to ensure that they scoop legal fees from government. And if you look at pending bills in Nairobi County, and even the pending bills and the legal fees, pending bills and legal fees, they're very huge amount of money. And you wonder, why didn't we even pay? Now, A.G. Muturi is finding himself in very difficult space. And that is what I want to break down here and politically look at this development, because things don't just happen. And I say, why now? If this is part of the restructure, why now? Why do you think they're not in tandem? Or why? What is the essence of this fight between that office and that other office of the Attorney General? So that other office of the Head of Public Service. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Click the notification just below next to subscription. That is I normally stress on that, because when we publish a video, you will be notified. Now, I am still here in Bukai. If you check in the background, yes, if you check there in the background, that is where the ocean is here, what brought us here. The fundis are working on it. So we are still here, just spoken to Austin. And I believe that now we have a wider view of what exactly it is. And that is why sometimes I don't like the desktop reporting. You know, when you come to the ground, ndio sasa unajua what exactly is going on. And I'm glad, I'm saying thank you for those who've been supporting. We are going to open it up. And we've agreed that the wife also needs to have some kiosk hapo mbele. So we are going to just support that. I think that's the only thing that will be remaining as we wait for the fundi to do it. So yes, those who had pledged and will still be willing to be part of that, kindly you can support. Now, I want to say this. Guys, there's some 4 things happening. And these are the 4 forces, unhygienic forces against Muturi. I think Muturi is facing the hostility within the government ranks because probably he is being earmarked as Uhuru Kenyatta's link road to government. And if you want to understand, I think people who understand politics and who understand the political history of Muturi's political survival rests with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. When he lost Siakago in 2007, Siakago said 2007, he was picked by Uhuru Kenyatta and worked under Uhuru Kenyatta, him and David Murathe. Murathe was even saying, and people, you know, Uhuru Kenyatta got so shocked. In fact, his political shocker was seeing, this gentleman was seeing JB Muturi crossing over to work with William Ruto and even using some very uncomfortable words against Uhuru Kenyatta. And after that, Uhuru Kenyatta gave him the speaker, and he served Speaker of the National Assembly 2 terms, the 3rd most powerful position. And even against and there is even reports that in 2017, William Ruto was demanding that the speaker should be given to him at some point, and Uhuru had to defend JB Muturi because he didn't want that legislative agenda, his legislative agenda, to fail. So I do believe, and you know, as things go on now, Uhuru Kenyatta is coming back. Raila Odinga is getting quite a number of feeds from government, And there is Uhuru axis that is resurging, and it seems to be getting back. And maybe that is what many people are seeing, that he might not be serving the real purpose, or rather he might be Uhuru axis in William Ruto administration. And I look at it keenly because that probably is the reason why he is facing that hostility. Now that's number one. Number two, Speaker Justin Muturi, not Speaker Justin Muturi, I think now, the Attorney General office is getting phased out, or rather he is being ejected out of Kenya Kwanza ranks because of caucusing, or caucusing this way. And this is what I mean. Rigathi Gachagua is falling out with the president. Rigathi Gachagua have also had a scuffle with the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. And if you look around, the man that will be around transition from Mount Kenya, another silent force you cannot underestimate, is Speaker Muturi. Now, William Ruto's political succession suitors, one of the succession suitors is that gentleman, Speaker Muturi. So maybe because of corridors taking left, right, and center, there is a possibility that it is not about him or rather the competence of that office, but it's about wielding more powers. And the reason why I insist he's being ejected, yesterday I told you that in the proposals by Chungwa, Head of Public Service Felix Kosgei was given the person to be on control of National Security Committee. Now, the composition of National Security Committee have Solicitor General, and Solicitor General is not, Attorney General is not there. So what does it mean? That Solicitor General is going to have a direct contact with the President. That is something you can say. Lastly, I am seeing there are some masqueraders. I read a book known as Enemy of the People. And the enemy of the people, I like this analogy of compact majority. Compact majority are people that will always lie to the leader, to the king. They will always tell the king that people are happy, even if people are crying. Now, I tend to see there is a clique of people that have gone to the president, William Ruto, and have branded William Ruto and have branded Muturi as a betrayer in the wake of all these other court losses that Kenya Kwanza has been facing. The court losses have been so many, and government has been punched. Sometimes when you keep on losing cases in these corridors, in the court corridors, it's not a good precedence. It's not a good precedence because it punches the image. You seem as if now you don't lack the credibility or you don't know what you are doing. And maybe some people are advising William Ruto that, look here, the person that is messing us around in terms of these laws here and there is Speaker Muturi, is Attorney General Muturi. So that is a probability that I am seeing, that the possibility of these people going is high. And I just want to, someone was just reminding me, telling me about it. Look at the CAS. CAS this position was even squashed and people didn't want it. People didn't want, the government said, the public was saying, we cannot manage to again use taxpayers' money to create new offices, parks, and while this economy is struggling. And it is understood that Speaker Muturi advised the president not to create that position. But the president went ahead and said, he did what Uhuru did, and the court pronounced itself. So that's a probability that they are seeing. Some of these blames have now punched on him, and maybe it's one of the cows, then it's one of the cabinet members that are being sacrificed. Lastly, there have been corridors that, and this started by Malala. Malala was saying that we cannot entertain state officers opposing the administration. And he said this in Nakuru. Do you remember during the State of the Nation address, Citizen TV reporters were interviewing Muturi? And that was at the time there was that Gazette notice about marriage fees that was hiked around some 50,000 and the ID and so. And when Muturi was asked, that clip, if you've been watching around, you'll find that clip. When Muturi was asked, what Muturi said is, he doesn't know about that, and he also saw it in the newspaper. You know, and the country was like, this is the Attorney General, and this is something touching on his docket. How is it that the fees has been hiked, but he's not on the know? So probably there are some fellows, there is something I want to tell you. There's something in the Kenya Kwanza corridors that is working against them. I don't know whether they know. It's called political working with emotions. If they just find out where when you come, you are not in order, kicked out. And that's working against them. So ladies and gentlemen, that is a bit of what I wanted to explain on this. I wanted to do that because it is something that has been in these corridors and people have been speaking about it, and I started it yesterday by just picking up what the nation has developed that story. So keep it here. I think on this one, be so consistent. This is one of the stories that I remain very objective and be within what is said, because it touches on it. And I'm just wondering, why would State House want to increase, maybe to promote state lawyers to state council? While, do they have that? Do they know? Are they the custodian? I believe, in fact, I don't believe it should be left to one person. AG should form a commission that brings LSK and other statutory bodies and themselves, so that if this thing is done, it comes out in a professional manner. Otherwise, I don't think we are trending a very good way. And from where I'm saying, it will end at Muturi leaving before 2027. Take that to bank and borrow a loan. Thank you.